Cool.
All right. I think we are live. We are on Facebook at Coach Ernie Williams right now. We should be on YouTube at Coach Ernie Williams. We should also be on Periscope at Coach Ernie, no Williams. Just Coach Ernie. We got a special guest today. One of the homies, one of the Oklahoma homies.
Yeah.
Smith. They call her Coach Shaunte or Coach Smith. Hey, welcome to the show.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you. I'm excited to get into your story and hear more.
Okay. I'm excited to be here. You know, two Oklahoma people doing big things. So.
Yep. So what high school did you go to? Because we played a lot against each other in AAU coming up in high school. So let everybody know like what high school you're from. Let's just get a little background of where you came from.
Well, first I'm originally from Norfolk, Virginia. Okay. So that's where I'm from. Went to high school at Putnam City North. People from Oklahoma, don't get confused because there's three. It's PTO and PC West. PC West, great. Daniel Gant, she went there.
Yep.
I went to PC North. Then from there, I ended up going to Oklahoma State. The recruiting process, I mean, you've been in it. Pretty much all Big 12 schools.
Yep.
I think Oklahoma State did a really good job recruiting me since I was a freshman. I committed the summer of my junior year. My sister and I went there. My best friend Tom was going there, and I wanted to stay close to my mom. It was an easy decision.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's a little background about where I went to school at. Yeah.
Coach, did you play any other sports along with basketball in high school or growing up?
No, all I did was strictly basketball. Like going into my junior year, they wanted me to be the goalie for soccer, and I was like, man, I don't even know how to do that. They're like, man, hand-eye coordination, you're tall. And I went out to pick away, and then after that, I was like, no, I'm good. I just couldn't get into it. But basketball was the only thing I did. I did track in middle school, but I don't like doing that. So it was just strictly basketball.
Yeah, they threw me in track. They threw me in that 400, and I was like, I'm just gonna stick with volleyball and basketball.
No, and then during the off season, they wanted us to run with cross country anyway. So I was like, okay, that's enough. But I just did basketball. I mean, basketball took up most of our time in high school, and I didn't want to get hurt playing any other sport. That's strictly what I did. Stayed in and enjoyed.
Yep. Hey, is your AAU program still going? They still playing ball?
Yeah, so right now it's we just got done fall trial. So summer ended. So pretty much like with the league teams and stuff like that. In summer, you travel, but things were different with COVID. There wasn't a lot of traveling. Right now it's the fall. We start up with fall practice actually next week. It's called Higher Goals. It's run by Wayne Watts. He played at the University of North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Worked for the Atlanta Hawks, and now he's a co-founder of Higher Goals. He's based out of DFW. Has a lot of kids, boys and girls. But yeah, right now we're going for the fall. I have a elite team, and so it's club, select, and elite. So I have elite boys team, and then I have a select girls team.
Okay.
And so it's a good organization. It's really big. So you can go to www.highergoals.com and you can learn more about what they do. And actually, all the other coaches. We have a coach that played at University of Richmond. Mm-hmm. One of my good friends, Mark Moses, he played at Oklahoma State while I was there. He just left for Italy like a week ago. He coached there. So there's a lot of good former players and high school coaches, etc. And like I said, Wayne worked for the Atlanta Hawks. So he has a lot of background and a lot of things.
Right.
He's a good businessman.
That's good. So he said higher goals. Right?
Yeah, Higher Goals.
Higher Goals. Awesome. Check them out. Highergoals.com. And that's an AAU program in DFW, so more Dallas or Fort Worth. Which side?
It's more Fort Worth, so it's like Southlake, Keller, Grapevine. Okay. But I mean, we have kids from all over. It's not just based. But most like the game, like I said, we play anywhere. But with the select, they play out the Grapevine League or Southlake League. But like I said, we have tryouts we want anyone from the DFW area or whatever to come out. We have people from Little Elm or Prosper. Dallas, Texas is huge. So
Okay. Well, cool. I wanna get kind of go back to high school and ask you, what was your work ethic like? Because a lot of kids, a lot of athletes ask me, Coach, how much time did you spend in the gym, and what did you do in high school to, get highly recruited and just have opportunity? Coach, tell us what you did with your routine.
In high school, even before high school, my best friend, she ran cross country and track. So we would get up and run. Running comes easy to me. I don't like doing it, but if I'm just running to run, I'll do it,
Okay.
without time to do anything. But my work ethic in high school, uh, story that not a lot of people know, I was going to quit my freshman year. Just because, it was a big investment. I was scared, things like that. But after my freshman year, I had a good teammate. Her name was Valerie Harris. She's a senior and I was a freshman. She helped me out a lot my freshman year. But I think after my freshman year, I really got into a good work ethic. I had a coach, his name was Joe Crawford. I don't know if you remember, but he had, it was back then, it was called City Hoops, Sports CU Hoops. And we had the goals that, like, you sit in the chair and the goals are right there. So we started out with skills. And I was naturally already athletic. I was 6'1" at the age of probably like 13.
Yeah.
But really what set me started moving in the gym is the skill work. So I saw how good I could be as far as, back then, I don't know if you remember, but we were trying to get away from the jump stop. I remember going to, hearing Sherry Cole talk about the jump stop and things like that, and getting into 1-2 step. So once my fundamentals and my skills got really, really good, I was always in the gym. I was at the Lighthouse in Oklahoma City playing ball with the guys all the time. Once I got up to my 16, I was either at my grandma's house or the gym.
Right.
All the time. The thing is, it wasn't back then. Well, now you see people that have, former players that are trainers, so they're in the gym training. But back then, I wasn't. I would train, but it was pick up with guys. There'd be, older men and their high school guys. That's all I did was play guys the entire time. It was fun. Taught me, how to handle the ball, be tough. Because like I was telling you the other day, when a lot of kids that our age, we don't like contact and things like that. But playing against guys, that helped a lot. So my work ethic in high school was, I was always in the gym. Even before games, I'll be shooting around before we got in the bus or before I go. I just love basketball. It was nothing else to do. Anyway, we don't have to, there was no cell phone. So my first cell phone was when I was, 17, I was a junior. But it was just regular flip phones. So all I did was play ball, play outside. That's all I did. But it wasn't like I said, to be totally transparent, it wasn't just doing skills. It was literally playing pickup. But there was always 20 people in the gym playing pickup. So I'll be in gym 3 hours just playing pickup.
Yeah. So more application. Like you would have your practices and your skills, right? But then more pickup, more games. And against other people. And there's a difference for me. I feel like playing pickup. Kids today don't know how to play pickup because there's no opportunity created for especially girls just to, hey, Sundays we're gonna open up the gym and all the girls from the city come play pickup. Now that I know of, I want to be able to start that here in Austin, but there's a difference from playing games and tournaments where it's organized basketball, your players and you're comfortable with your teammates, and then pickup where you might be playing with a different set of 4 girls every game. So you really got to know basketball. Talk a little bit about that and really how just playing pickup, right? Applying your skills help.
Yeah, so like I said, it is hard to find girls nowadays, just girls that want to actually hey, we got 10 girls who want to play. It's very, very hard. And like I said, guys, it's easy, but when you play against guys, you have to implement your game differently. So there's sometimes you play against guys that try to, relive their high school dreams and don't pass the ball, or some guys that, and a lot of girls they don't play, they just stand off field on defense, and they don't play defense because they want to act like, oh, you drove past me, it's because you're a girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have guys that respect your game and actually tee you up,
Yeah.
or you may drive to the basket and they're gonna block your shot. So you have to adjust your game playing with guys. I think the only thing I hate with playing with guys is like, okay, well, you're not gonna play D. Okay, I'm gonna shoot. But it doesn't help us. You know what I mean? It makes me mad because I'm just like, you just want me to embarrass you. But it gets girls, I think you can really implement your skills. I mean, girls are very competitive. It's very hard, but like I said, it's hard to find 5-on-5 girls. I mean, it's really hard to find. And once you do, it's about because women, you may at our age or even you have a kid or it's different being a woman.
Yeah.
It's just not you're working around different aspects of your life. You know. But as far as playing against, like I said, a woman, you can actually work on things. You may feel like, again, like I'm dribbling a little harder because I've been playing against guys, etc. Um, but like I said, when I played against girls, I really felt like my skill level, I could really see my improvement, whether I was playing against guys or not. I mean, because you're playing against girls, your level, your skill set. But like I said, in high school, it was pick up, but I did a ton of skills. Like Bill Crawford, I was always in the gym with him, shooting, doing footwork, working on going off my left. Um, but the most important thing was just my shot. What I realized, like when I got to college, like you can still improve. Like people don't get to their peak till they're late 20s. But of course, when we're younger, we think we know everything. But you do have to adjust your game to playing with men and women. I like playing against both. It's just different.
Yeah, I liked it. I like playing against the guys, okay, because of course they're gonna put you in it, get you out of your comfort zone. You really have to use that pump fake, right?
Yep.
And get to probably jump stop so you can take the contact and still try to score. But man, I feel like the main thing. I lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say?
Playing against guys.
Yeah, playing against guys. Oh, for me, so we probably play small forward. I always call it tiny forward because I felt like I was my back against the basket, very small down there. But with the guys, I had to play like point or two. So I loved it because I had to handle the ball more and handle pressure and attack instead of having my back to the basket. So that gave me a chance to be defended by somebody really athletic, owning my skills. And then take that to when I go play against girls, when I play in my natural position, I'm kind of that 3-4. I would get that guard work that I needed to, bring it into the small forward position.
Right. It's funny you say that too, because when I went to college, I played the 3 in my first 2 years, and then I played the 4 in my last 2 years. But when I was in high school, I was like, man, I'm gonna guard. Like I don't want to post, but it's good that we're at the size where we can do both. Especially since the game has evolved. You see girls our size that are point guards. We're actually very undersized for our position, but I think that's why we excelled so much too, because we kind of have an old school game. We know how to back someone up and use a pump fake and a pivot foot and then another pump fake, and you know what I mean. You don't. I watch a lot of women's basketball, but like I said, it's evolving into more of an outside game drive-in. But that's just not women's basketball. It's men's basketball too. But like I said, back in the day, we were big for our size. We could have played center if we wanted to.
Yeah. Really quick, and then I want to talk about a little bit about recruiting and getting into OSU. But my question for you, for some of kids out here, is: did you, as a star player and a great player that you were, did you wait to work on your game when you went to see a coach or a trainer? Did you wait around for that Tuesday or Thursday that you trained with your trainer, or did you go to work before that?
Oh no, I was always in the gym, and I would call, like I said, my AU coach to work out, or I would go up to the lighthouse and the phone be locked, and I would be mad. Like I didn't know, y'all closed, or I would shop at like $2 to get in the gym, Because $2, free shoot around or whatnot. Or I was there so much they would let me in free because I was a usual, not 16-year-old kid. But no, I was always in the gym. There was no waiting around. And my thing is, I hated feeling tired. I hated working out with. When you work out one on one with your trainer, you're tired. You go through all those drills. There's no line behind you where you can sit and wait your turn. I gotta get in shape. You know what I mean? I was already in shape, but I wanted to, have that second win
Yeah,
where, I felt good. So no, I never waited. Like I said, I was a gym rat always.
right. Exactly. And I think that's a key thing is work ethic and doing the work on your own. But you don't have kids. It's like they don't want to go to the gym because they feel like they have to be there for 3 or 4 hours, which is untrue. You can go
Yeah.
for an hour. You can go for hour and a half, hour and 15. As long as you are there and you're efficient and you're consistent with getting in the
Yeah.
gym daily.
Yep.
That's it.
I agree. I agree. I mean, even I implement those to what you said to when I go to the gym and work out. I could be in there for 2 hours and be on my phone every other set, or I can get in 1 hour,
Exactly.
be done and get in what you could. And I mean, I could today I worked out for 35 minutes and I got in a good workout. But usually, if I just I have time, I could be in 2 hours and do the same thing. So it's just how you use your time, which is very important.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, coach, take us through recruitment, and we know you ended up at Oklahoma State University
Mhm.
Cowgirls. Who else were you looking at as far as contenders to go play college at, and what was it in the school you were looking for?
Okay. So we had went to nationals in Florida my junior year, and so I got a lot of East Coast schools that were looking at me. Florida. I mean, I probably recruited as much as you. Um,
Yep.
Kansas State was recruiting me really hard. OU had picked up kind of towards the end. But I knew, like I said, great player Daniel Gantz played my same position, and that's something that you do have to look into when you're recruiting.
Right.
Because you, as a player, and for those young kids, you want to go somewhere you want to play, that you're going to play.
Yeah.
And I mean, competition is competition. You want to work your butt off, but I mean, sometimes it's even you never know. You know. But Kansas State was up there, Nebraska was up there, of course, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech,
Yeah.
and I had Middle Tennessee. But when I went, I really connected with players and the coaching staff. Like I said, they just did a really good job. I felt like they weren't recruiting me. They were just, regular people. Actually, I felt like I was cared about, appreciated. They were consistent.
Yeah.
Um, they were consistent. I got letters and everything from the same people. And Kansas State was up there. Oklahoma State was always ahead of everyone. They always ahead, and that really it made me pay attention. And back then, before I went there, they had a horrible record, and I wasn't worried about that. I wanted to actually help try to rebuild a program. Um, is I wanted to go out of state. So from high school, I thought I was going to go out of state. Like I was like, I want to get out of Oklahoma. I hate Oklahoma. Yada 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 yada. But it just when I went down there, I had other official visits. But Oklahoma State was my first one. And what they did was I went on unofficial because Stillwater's an hour away from where I
Yeah.
was. My head coach took me down there, spoke to the coaches, got a tour, and then on my official visit, I fell in love. Like I was already, my sister was already there, so that was a big factor.
Okay.
My sister was there, she's 2 years older than me, so she's already there. And then like I said, my best friend, I mean, she committed. She went there afterwards, after I committed. But it was just something. It's a college town. It's just humble. It's great. So the recruiting process, I honestly want the recruiting process to be over because
I know.
it's draining. It's stressful. You're like, I don't know what I want to do. Like, in school, they were like, hey, Paul, these things we didn't have, they can't. I didn't have fun back then. But I will have to say the recruiting process was pretty smooth and easy. Like I said, I committed it's like May of my junior year, and I signed. And when it's October of my senior year, I just wanted to be over with. I don't think I rushed my decision at all. Um,
Yeah.
but the end of my senior year, they ended up firing that coach, and that's when we got RP, Coach Turner, and Coach Kentucky. But Coach Turner was recruiting me from Fresno State, really, really hard. So Coach Wilson ended up only keeping two recruits that Coach Goodenough I recruited. It was me and Taylor Hardiman, which she played on your AU team, right?
Who was it?
Taylor Hardiman?
Yeah.
Did
She played
No, she
older. Was she on the older? She might have been on the older group.
Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
after that, it was history. I mean, and we'll go into I guess my playing career, but that was the recruiting process. It was really easy. But my advice for players that are getting recruited,
Mhm.
like it's kind of like I just had a gut feeling. Some people just have that. But if you are getting recruited, I would suggest take all 5 visits. First off, they fly your family out. You get to see things you maybe never get to see before. So I advise you to take all 5 visits. Really weigh your options. Take your time because it's just not about basketball. It's not life after basketball. And I wanted to I wanted to study international business. I'll be a physical therapist, but I think kids only think about basketball. Like, okay, well, I won't go here because I don't know the local room is cool. No, you never know. But I think when you're getting recruited, you really need to look into how it can help your career after basketball. And I mean that's a big factor.
Yeah. I definitely agree that if you can take all 5 official visits just in case, because I've heard many stories of people, boys and girls, men and women athletes taking their visits and choosing to go to a school that they kind of never weren't. It was on, in the top 5, but they really weren't considering, and then something that they got there and felt the energy, or they connected with the girls, or they connected with the coaches, or whatever it was. Just use all of your options, right? Exhaust all of your options. You have 5 opportunities to go see.
Yeah, I totally agree. I
only took 3, but I wish I would have took all of them just to make sure I made the right decision. Confirm it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. And when we played, I remember we had tough odds. I mean, everybody was good when we played. I mean, I agree. I wish I had took, my other 4, but I mean, I mean, that's my preference. That's what I went with. But like I said, I just feel like they were always a step ahead, always.
Yeah, that feels good though. Like that's one of those I would say maybe easier and more comfortable decisions. Is like when they make it easy for you and they show you that they care and they really want you to be not only a player but come to our program, come to our school, get an education thing.
Yeah, and before this summer, before I went down there, I would go and swim with the girls, things like that. So it was just easy for me just to blend in and just feel it like at home.
Yeah. Okay, OSU. So you played there for 4 years, right? Correct. Yeah. And then, so how did you grow? We'll talk about growth. I like to talk about growth. Through your college career.
Okay. Well, I went there I would say my freshman year I was very stubborn. Because you come off you start all your life in high school, and I started all my life I started all 4 years. But my freshman year, it was I had to grow up fast, meaning, I got thrown out there with the gloves. I remember, Coach Bucky really had high expectations for me. I always seemed like I wasn't doing anything right. But I mean, now that you look back at it, he's doing that for a reason. Let me see. My freshman year, we were 0-16 in Big 12, so we didn't win any games in Big 12. No games.
That's rough.
Man, and then we were 8-20. I don't know the season. And I'll tell you, that was probably the toughest time ever. It's not fun losing. And
One
it's
second.
not.
1 second.
Okay.
I think I locked the door. Hold
Oh,
up. Hold up, guys. I locked my mama out.
oh, you good. Yeah, but like I was saying, it's not fun losing, and it was just tough. I mean, it was mentally tough. I had to grow up. I remember my first Big 12 game ever. I started. It was at Texas A&M. Very first Big 12 game at Texas A&M. If you know about Texas A&M, they're a very good program.
Oh yeah.
It was. I was like, they're calling out the starters, and I'm like, palms sweating. I remember I only had 4 points in that game. It like I was. It wasn't I was scared to shoot. It was, I had to grow up very, very fast. Um, and we didn't have any. I didn't have. I guess we still having people buy into the new system. You have girls from Coach Goodenough and then girls from Coach Bucky. It was very different. I had to learn a lot. Um, so that was pretty much my freshman year. My sophomore year, we had Andrea Riley. I know you know about her. She
Yep.
came in and changed things around. I gained probably about 15, 20 pounds. So I probably started every game, but about 7 games that year. We ended up going to the NCAA tournament. Bowling Green beat us in the first round.
Okay.
But that was pivotal into me going into the next season because I had a sophomore slump. I didn't like the way I felt. It was just, my freshman year was good. I averaged double, but my sophomore year was really, for me, it was more mental than anything. And then my junior year, from the summer from my sophomore to my junior year, I lost 20 pounds, 25 pounds. Best shape of my life. I won every sprint. I remember I was probably 150, just lean, muscle. That year we ended up going to Sweet 16. But to go back to my sophomore year, I was a team captain. So it was a lot of mental things for me, but I knew how to lead. I led by example my sophomore year.
Okay.
So I ended up being a team captain, led by example, worked hard. Like I said, my work ethic never changed. It was more of, I just had that slump, and when you're in that slump, it's all mental. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just couldn't get out of it. I really couldn't get out of it. I had gained weight. Like I said, I didn't like the way I finished my season. And it was kind of a turning point for me. We had good, great girls coming in next season, and I could easily have got my spot taken. And I could have just settled and settled the bench for the next 2 years, but I knew I had to make changes. And so it was all on me. And once I saw my body start changing and I could get up more off the ground and I could guard 1 through 5, that's when really I bought into myself. So then my junior year, we went to 16, lost to LSU. Sylvia Fowle, probably the best player I played in my college career. I mean, her wingspan for the whole team. I mean, she blocked. I was at the free throw line, and she was at the block, and all of a sudden she blocked my shot. I was like, I didn't know you were like, how you come that fast? Her wingspan is crazy. So I felt like my junior year, I was what, we're 21 or whatnot. I really felt good within myself, and I felt good mentally and physically. In my senior year, of course, I led by example, very vocal. That year was tough. Going to the WNIT. We had lost to our starters, but we still had great growth. But like I said, it's just your college is all mental now that I think about it. I mean, all of it is mental. They test you. I mean, these coaches they test you. If you pass the test, you're gonna play.
Yeah.
But they test you. The only way you can fail is yourself. They give you all the help, tutoring. I mean, you're busy from sun up to sundown. At that age, you can do anything. You can stay up till 3 o'clock and take a test and final and win a championship the same day. But my college career, I grew a lot. If you took a picture of how I was my freshman and senior is a totally different person, mentally and physically. But I mean, you're supposed to change. You're supposed to grow. I look to Coach like the Coach Bucky as a father figure, Coach Serna, Coach Kenya. They all were different type of coaches. And that's what you have to have with the coaching staff. I mean, you can't have all the same personalities. Even the Dobo. Uh, so like I said, my college experience was great from um, being a student athlete to and we get to go places we never we went to Hawaii, we won tournaments out there. It was fun. It was fun. I loved it.
Yeah, Hawaii was nice. I think we might have went there twice. I don't know. I played 5 years, so I don't know how I got that.
You take a big trip every 2 years, or every other year.
Every other, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Hawaii or Bahamas, something like that. Yeah.
Yep. When I left, the next year they went to Bahamas. I was like, man. But
we always went to the San Diego tournament for Thanksgiving, I think it was, or Christmas.
I think we went to a different tournament every year. I really don't remember anymore.
But it was exciting. We were ready for those, holiday tournaments because we were going somewhere fun.
Yeah, and then during the holidays, you don't get homework.
Yeah, exactly.
Basketball.
Just basketball. But no, on the Christmas break though, those practices they were rough. They were rough because we didn't.
Man,
I know y'all. It's probably the same for y'all. We didn't have our men's practice team to go against, so we had to.
I forgot about that.
We had to go against each other, and it got physical. It got catty, and coach she wasn't calling fouls because she wanted us to stay ready and tight over the Christmas break. So I mean, the ball was going way out of bounds. And she's like, it's not out of bounds. Oh, okay. So we going right into the mat, trying to get the ball. Yeah, I mean,
you had
Who was
your coach? Was it Gail?
So I had all the coaches whenever we switched. So I had 2 years with Coach Conrad, and then Karen.
Wow.
Karen Axon was she recruited me, and she was there my freshman year, and then she went on to do her head coaching. I have Travis Mays. He's the coach of SMU women's basketball right now as well. And then we had Gail Gessencourt come in, and the whole staff changed, but they were great staff as well. So I have many coaches.
But that's good that you can adjust to each coach. That's hard.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah. That's one of the adversities that we had to go through as a team or organization. But for me, it was just like. It always starts over. I'm always going to be proving why I should be starting five or why I should be playing, period.
Right.
So when a new coach comes in, you just have to let your egos go if you have that and understand what they're asking for and go to work. It's nothing different. It's nothing different. And earn that spot,
Yep.
So we get your background for college. Now tell us about your idea of professional basketball overseas. Did you know we could go to Europe and ball? Were you thinking about WNBA only? How did you transition from OSU to pro?
I always wanted to go overseas. Like I always knew there was an option. Mm-hmm. What I didn't know how tough it was to remain overseas and remain in a contract, and how much work you have to do. That's what I didn't know, and that's what I think that what girls and men's players about to graduate their high school need to know about. Because so I ended up getting an agent, and she was an NBA agent, also in the higher end, top 5, whatever. So I got her. I didn't have to pay the cater, but I didn't know that you had to, she would check up on me and things like that. But pretty much when you're overseas, you're taking care of yourself. You have to follow up with your agent and tell them what you're not getting. Some players, they don't get paid on time. But I think the toughest thing about overseas, one, of course, being away from your family, that's obvious. But just when you're done, some people don't, like, I didn't know if I had a job, in the summertime. You just have to stay on top of your game. Get back from the summer. So that's what I didn't know. I always knew overseas was an option, and that's what I wanted to do. Well, I was either going to be a VA or go overseas, but the first option was I need to go overseas, so I'm fresh, and I knew like if you didn't go immediately, like something may happen or whatever. It's just easier when you just graduate to go overseas. You know, you never know where you land at. I want to explore, the world, things like that. But like I said, as far as overseas, it's just staying on top and having the main thing is having the right agent. That represents
That's
you.
tough.
Yeah, and some people, but now it's different. There's so many agencies, things like that. It's social media, so you can search for things. We played in 2009, so first year overseas was '09, and it's so different. Facebook had just came out. I mean, the world's so different. I think it's easier to get overseas because you do have a lot of more agents. You can network. You can be your own agent. But I didn't know about that. So I had lost in contact with my agent when I got back. And then I took a year off. Well, not a year off, about 4 months off. And then I was going to go to Africa to play, but I had a tryout with the Tulsa Shock. And so it's either go to Africa for next year, because I was going to be gone for a year, or I have a tryout with Tulsa Shock. Back then, which now is without women.
Yeah.
And my AU coach had got me a tryout because this Tulsa Shock they owned it's a Sports CU Academy, but then they were called Oklahoma Shock underneath the Tulsa Shock. So I had a tryout with Tulsa Shock. I was with Cheryl Swoops, did really, really well, got invited to the training camp. I remember it was me. Were you there? No?
At the tryout, I went to a Tulsa Shock tryout.
Okay.
I don't know if you were there. I think, was Danielle Gant there? I went to one that she was at too, I think.
No. But I know Jasmine Toy was there.
Okay.
I forgot. But anyways, anybody cut. Then I went back overseas to Spain. And I came back. My mom got sick, and so then I took off. And after that, it was very, very hard to go back overseas because they look at, oh, well, you haven't played in a year or two. We have people come in, we have kids graduating that are better. Me and you both have been overseas. We know how it is and town is, and me and you could still be playing over there.
Yeah.
But then I got into coaching. So once I got into coaching, I mean, I was head first, and then I ended up going back overseas in 2017 to play in Aguascalientes, Mexico for a tournament, and that's the last time. But I was coaching, and that's where my passion was, and I just went head first. And then, like I said, I went back overseas in 2017. I had an opportunity to go overseas in 2016 for Sweden, but then my passport was expired, and it's always something. But
yeah.
But my experience overseas, I mean, it was good. It was a big adjustment. It was scary. I was in Spain. I left Spain. It's about 3 hours from Barcelona. Now it was beautiful. I mean, it's just beautiful. But as far as adjusting, I adjusted to the culture very well. But just the language barrier. And, you play with. They start playing on professional teams at 16, 17. So adjusting that. But other than that, I don't have any complaints. Like I said, the hardest is just you gotta stay on top of it during the summer. Like, if the team don't want you back, or if you already don't know where you're going, you gotta make sure you have a job.
Yeah.
Even too, what my advice is, save your money and get a little part-time job during the summer, and that could be your little spending money. Work out. That's what I would do.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on something. You said it was hard to adjust to the team kind of dynamic because they have girls that start playing professional on these teams at 16, 17, 18 years old. And that was one thing for me. My first year was in Portugal. And when I was thinking, my whole mindset about going pros, I'm going to play with players that are older, that are better, and I'm going to get better. I'm not going to be the best on the team.
Yep.
So that was a 180 or 360 mindset shift, because when I went over there, I was one of the best players along with other Americans. Then we had 16-year-old girls, 17-year-old girls, young girls, literally teaching them the game.
Yep.
So that's, imagine that is, we're 23, 24, 25 years old playing pro, but we're playing with high school girls.
Yeah, that was I agree with you. It's just so different because you're kind of like, wait, like, you know what I mean? You kind of have to swallow your pride, and just keep pushing. I mean, but that's why you see Luka, he's been playing professional since he's 16. I mean, it benefits him a lot. But, when we go there, we're like, we're getting paid to be a professional, and then you're just like, so I think that was a big adjustment for me too. And you are teaching them, or a big adjustment is, I felt like they always call travel on us for some reason. I call it travel, and I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah.
So, I'm just like, if you get tested, you're fine. It's just how some contracts are. So that was another big adjustment for me.
I definitely had about six travels my first game. Literally,
man,
like, what am I doing wrong?
Man, yeah. And then I don't know how your practices were, but we had 2 days. We had 2 games a week, maybe one sometimes. And so the days we didn't have a game, we had 2 days. I mean, that's overseas. Like
that's the European style. It's just it's like some coaches, but most teams are just quantity over quality of practicing. I mean, you 2 a days down the whole week, and then you expect me to play on the top level on Saturday.
And practices would be, we would do like skills and stuff in the morning. We would push in the morning, do skills and stuff afterwards. Then I have the rest like the evening or the day to just chill. And in the evening we have conditioning before practice, like 15 minutes in practice, like 3 hours. And I was like, okay, this is pretty good. This lasted all the way until April when I left.
I know.
And I was like, man, I mean, but some days I'll be tired for the game. I'm just like, we would have 2 days before the game.
I know. It's crazy.
It's a different style out there. I mean,
it was more of a grind than college. And college is hard.
Yeah, so college is hard. Overseas you're playing. That's your job. You got to perform. You know what I mean? It was tough. I remember. And then too, some cultures are a lot different. So you got to make sure that you're adjusting to their culture, how you react, or you know what I mean? Because they may take things differently or whatever. So that's another thing that was different. And, some people can play overseas, and some people play in different countries every year. You got to adjust every year. And some people are blessed to stay with the team for 3 or 4 years and go somewhere else. But I mean, it's different. I don't want to discourage anyone to do it. It's good money. You get I would say everyone should do it because you're not going to be able just to explore the world for free.
No, that was.
I remember when we had a week off when I went to all these different countries. So I think it's a good opportunity and good. I mean, put on your resume too.
Yeah. I think if anybody's on the fence, if you're watching your parent, family member, or an athlete out there, and if you are on the fence or will be on the fence about going overseas, and if you have the opportunity, do it.
Right.
Do it. Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of America. Go to another country. Live life on their budget. Get their plane ticket and go. Because if it doesn't work out, that's not the end of the world. Guess what? You get to come home.
Yep. And then I saved so much money because all I had to pay for was food. They fed us really. So if I wanted something different, that's all I paid for. So I agree. I think you should do it. And the thing is, get out of your comfort zone. You never know until you try it. I mean, it may be scary. I think it's scary for a lot of people but you have an American on your team, and then also people on your team will speak English. It may not be the best, but overseas they have to learn English. Over here we don't have a language we got to learn. So I think that's also good.
So tell us. So one question. I want to talk about any adversities or tough times you had to deal with through your career from high school on up to pro. And I definitely want to talk about what you're doing now and just catch everybody up.
Okay. So the first adversity, and how I overcame it. Let me see. So High school, my father passed away when I was younger, like 3, and then my stepdad passed away when I was in 7th grade. High school, our house burned down when I was a junior. Grandma passed away, so there was a lot of adversity I had to go through.
Yeah.
But like I said, I had basketball. You travel a lot. Being an athlete really, it really helps you. Kind of, I mean, you have your teammates to, lean on, things like that. But I was really young when a lot of stuff happened to me. But like I said, I remember high school when our house burned down. I mean, um, it's
Wow.
just good to have that getaway. You have practice. It's
Exactly.
it's good to just everything out for chest. Because your teammates become like sisters, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was actually back from overseas. My two coaches had passed away, so that was a big hit. When all that happened. Um, but it just teaches you. I mean, you learn later on in life. I mean, death is a part of life. Bad things happen to good people. It's just how you get through it. So it just made me a stronger woman. I mean, you want to just. I'm not the type of person when something bad happens just to sit down and not do anything.
Yeah.
Um, so that happened, but it's just like I said, it makes me work harder. Um, I'm always active. I'm always doing things. That's how I always am. You can talk to my friends. Like I'm literally always busy. Like only time I really rest is at the end of the day. Um, what was your other question? Sorry.
No, you good. That's great. And then the last question is, oh, catch us up on what you're doing. So you're coaching and training. Tell us about your business.
Okay.
Let everybody know the details.
Okay. Well, to piggyback off adversity, I had started to go back to Spain.
Okay.
I had a teammate, and this is for anyone. You can't trust everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You can't trust everybody. So I had a teammate. She was 23, and she was 30, like 2.
Mm-hmm.
Black woman. So I looked up to her. It was me, her, and a girl from Serbia or something. We roomed together in an apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and we had played on the same team for like the past 5 years. So I was like, okay, like show me the ropes, like show me the country, blah 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 blah. But I played her same position.
Yeah.
And I thought me and her was going to start. Like we were really good, but you never know.
Yeah.
But I'm not speaking bad about her, but she told me, well, don't trust her, don't trust that, don't trust these people. And I believed her. Like, you're naive, you're 22 years old, like, okay. And I thought all my teammates were just all bad people, so I just kept to myself and her. And then she ended up quitting in December. And so it was just me and my roommate from Serbia. And like, I hit off my teammates literally 2 days after she left. And they were like, we were wondering why you didn't talk to us and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, I don't know what that was, but
Yeah.
when you go over there, you have to trust yourself and venture out and do things on your own. I know that's hard because when you're 22, you want someone that knows the life, and she was on the team for 5 years, so it was someone to trust her.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's adversity I had to go through because I had to, pretty much almost apologize to these my teammates. I mean, I didn't do anything. I was just really conservative into myself. That I was not like that, younger outgoing, things like that. But
That's
so what I'm
interesting.
doing now, as far as me, I'm my own business called Second Wind Training. So basically, it's more lean towards strength and agility. I'm really, really big into agility training. If I could go back in another life, I would love to be a strength and conditioning coach for a college.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I, I learned a lot from college and just watching. I think it's very important to have that aspect um, with because you don't see a lot of strength and conditioning training with kids. You see a lot of skills training, which
Yeah.
is very good. But for me, I love the strength and agility, the footwork, um, the speed. I mean, there's so much you can do with it. I mean, you can put a lot of things into it. You can still do strength and conditioning and be dribbling the ball. that's what I'm doing. It's called Second Wind Training. It's a new company. I just started in April. The website right now is being built. You can book. You contact me on Instagram, on Facebook. But that's what I'm doing. And I'll put more videos and stuff up on Facebook. I'm going to do a Facebook business page, but I really got into it during quarantine.
Mhm.
I was working out, and people were like, "Hey, let me come work out with you." And I was like, "You know what? I can actually build this into a business." I think I was just so set in a corporate world with LA Fitness. LA Fitness has been good to me. I still currently work there, but I really want to focus on myself and market my brand. So I mean, I've been enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes you don't even need equipment. You can do strength and conditioning without any equipment. But the core is very important. Basketball is really anything. Footwork is very, very important. You know, um, Pivoting, staying low, reaction.
Yep.
Stop and go. Basketball, stop and go reaction. And with kids between 10 and 16, you don't see that yet. I mean, you do, but in certain kids are just gifted. But even you can be the most gifted person, but LeBron James is still working out 3 hours before the game. Like, he's got to continue to work. But that's what I'm doing currently right now.
You know what I think? While we don't see certain athletic ability in kids is two. I mean, one. I jumped in my head. One, I don't think they play dodgeball in PE anymore. Is
Man,
that
I don't know what they be doing.
like dodgeball will get you ready for any sport? I'm saying.
Man, I mean, back in the day, I stayed in cul-de-sac. We were playing
Yeah.
kickball all the
Yeah.
time, like hide and seek, like stop and go, like what's it called, whatever. I don't know what games they play. They probably playing phone. I don't know,
I
but
don't know. But
but yeah,
that's that competitive too. Like, you know how you get out, like we just started the game and then you get out, right? You be so mad and ready to get into the other game.
dodgeball is fun though. But then it's different, man. You get hit by a ball and they be calling on the teacher. I don't know. I'm not a teacher. I know it's hard, but it's different. But I mean, I'm training some kids tonight. I'll post it. But I mean, I'm really excited. I like doing stuff because I want to see like growth. Some people. I had a kid I was training, and his mom said, "Hey, you said that my son was slow," and I said, "No, I didn't say he was slow. I said what you were doing, your footwork were slow. I didn't call him slow. You know what I mean? So it's things like that where I like to like improve your footwork. Being quick. The difference between being quick and fast. So I like doing stuff like that.
And that's really what's important, because if you can have a special ability athletically, and then you have this certain IQ and skill level.
Yeah.
But not everybody has the athletic ability that you were blessed with, right?
Yeah. Right.
So that you're going to have to train your body to even be able to apply those skills that we can do on the court in the IQ. When it comes to making getting into a fast break, and you got to make that dribble and that push pass, that's the training that you do. That's the footwork. That's the ability to get one ball and control that pass one hand and not be here. That's basketball. Sometimes you don't have time to take a dribble, get both hands and make it. You got to get that ball off and pass it, and that's the functional movement. It's so important. And then it's like you got to stay healthy to play. So I really want kids and parents, especially parents, to understand they need to train, right? It doesn't have to be excessive, but it's movement. It's just specific movements. Learning the basic squat, being flexible, being able to sprint and control, and then deceleration and acceleration. The most important part, though, is the being able to stop and change direction, like you said. Yep.
Yeah, and the thing is that you don't see a lot of strength and conditioning out there. I love people who are doing the training, things like that. I'll do basketball skills training too. But my main right now is you don't like the stuff I'm doing is the stuff that I did in college. I didn't do it in middle school and high school. So the stuff I'm teaching is the things that we didn't do in college. So I'm trying to get these kids to think, because if you can think, when you get library, like, okay, if you shuffle, you gotta think. I didn't know how to do that, so I was a freshman in college, But these kids, when I teach them, they're 13, 14, it makes them think. So in practice, because like, boys, they be spaced out, but it gets you focused to make you think. Or you need to think, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then, when you get to the pros, the game comes so fast. You gotta think and react before that, because the next person, the defense, they're all right. They already know what you do, so you gotta counter off that and do something else. So once I get that off the grid, I have more things like that. But it's called second wind training. Just because, like I said earlier, I remember my coach was like, "You got your second win?" I was in middle school. I was like, "What are you talking?" I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "All right, go back in." And I was like, "What does that mean?" And I was dying. It's just, you gotta get. You got. I think a lot of kids, they stop at the very first thing. Like, they feel tired. They stop. They want to start. They don't know how to get over that hump and keep pushing. Once you do that, like you become great. It's kind of like when you run a mile. Like, okay, 1 mile is good, but when you run 2, 3 miles, that's when you start burning calories. You get over. You push yourself to be better.
Yep. Coach, it's getting. Can you let's refresh your browser really quick?
I think I'm back up.
Yeah, let's refresh our browsers really quick and see if we can pop you back in really quick. 1 second, guys. We are fixing that audio. Let's see. Let me see if I can get her back. All right. All right, while she's refreshing her browser, she's going to jump back in. Again, we are talking with Shaunte Smith. She went to Oklahoma State University. She is in the DFW area, more so the Fort Worth area. She has a business called Second Wind Training, and she does basketball training and strength and conditioning, or agility and speed movement, which is very important if you are trying to remain on the court or the field healthy and be able to apply your skills that you guys are learning. We're going to wait for a second to see if we can get her in. All right, she'll be back in a second. If you are watching, my name is Coach Ernie Williams. Drop a comment. Let us know that you're here, where you're watching from. If you have a question that you want me to answer for parents or players out there, or want Shaunte Smith to answer a question, drop a comment really quick before we get out of this live. We'd love to answer your questions. I am a basketball coach here in Austin, Texas, in the greater Austin area, Round Rock, Pflugerville, Georgetown, Leander, Hutto, Cedar Park. You can follow me on ehoosperformance.com. That's my website if you want to connect with me there, if you're looking for training for your 7th grader through 12th grader basketball player. If you guys have injuries, I do newbie electrotherapy that helps find imbalanced muscles. So contact me at 512-666-7289. I'd love to help you guys out. I think we got her back. Let's see if we have some audio here. Yeah, we back.
All right.
Thanks for staying with us, guys. We're almost finished. We're gonna ask a couple more questions, and then we are gonna get out of here. Yo, that background, I feel like I gotta up my game.
Yeah, Amazon's type in tapestry. You probably get one that says, Longhorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's at.
All right, so we just got done talking about Second Wind Training, Coach. That's her business here for basketball training and strength and conditioning and agility and speed training. I was just talking about that while you were off trying to get your browser corrected. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, more so in the Fort Worth area, look her up. Here is her Facebook. Contact her there. I will also pop on her Instagram right here, Tay32 Smith. Contact her, ask her questions, y'all. The number one thing I do this is for parents and for players, for other coaches even, to ask us questions about our success stories or our experiences so that we can give that back to these kids out here that are competing for scholarships or wanting to increase their skill or wanting to boost their confidence. You know, what she said earlier was spot on, that this game is mental. We understand the mental, and if we can help you on a mental level and a confidence level, we would love to do that. So send your questions in. If you have any comments here, ask us a question before we get out of here. But Coach, I want to commend you for starting your business, because I think that's just the smartest thing to do, especially in this time, in this climate where you might people are losing their jobs, unfortunately. And if that's your only income stream, you know, then you kind of put in a tight spot. So I think you're doing the right thing. You're still working at Lifetime, which is awesome, and you love it. And then sorry. All right, don't get fighting.
It's okay.
LA Fitness, my bad.
Okay. I don't need them mad at me. So
I know, I got you. LA Fitness, but also doing your own thing. That's great. Good job. Because it's hard, especially for retired athletes, to get into a career and then keep making the same money that we've been making and working our butts off for. So I commend you for that. I did the same thing. I left Dell, my company, mid-June, and I've been doing basketball on the side, but I'm going full-time. I love this. This is what I do all day, and I'm super happy. So
good.
Do what makes you guys happy out there, okay?
For real.
Coach Shaunte, one last thing. Do you want to leave any words of advice for our youth out here, high school, even our college players, on the mental side? What can they do to have more fun and then get their goals? If their goal is a scholarship, if their goal is just to play at a high level in high school, what should they be focusing on?
First thing is making sure that you're making yourself happy and you're not making a decision based off what your parents want, based off having a boyfriend at the time or whatever. You know, this is your life. So don't go all the decisions that you're making, if this is for the high school athletes that are looking for college, you know, like I said, it should be based off what you want to do after basketball, softball, whatever. Everything should be focusing based on what you need to do to make yourself happy. Because 2 years from now, you're gonna have the same philosophy. Do what makes you happy.
I agree.
As far as the mental aspect, it's so important that you are mentally healthy. You know, if you're not, you know, I don't think there's enough mental advocates out there. I know some colleges do have athletic counselors now. We didn't have that, but take advantage of having a counselor at your high school or middle school or even for college. I think mental health is the most important thing that you need to focus on. Outside of that or outside of sports, being mentally healthy is very, very important. And like I said, also just being happy. And then 3, November's coming up. Everyone needs to go vote. You know, it's a very important time in the world with everything going on. Everyone's important. Everyone's voice is important. Like I said, I think it's very important to go vote, especially with us at our age. I think it's never been so critical or so important to just make sure that you do your part in this world and be an active citizen and go vote and be safe and be healthy. And right now it's a crazy time in the world, but at the end of the day, what I say, make yourself happy, and be mentally happy too.
Yes, happiness and mental health, I think is number one. just like we both made decisions to do whatever with our businesses. I quit my job because honestly I was unhappy, and so now I'm super happy. When it comes to Monday feels like a Saturday for me. I'm super like energized and ready to go, you know. And when I was working, I was like, oh, Mondays, and like yay Friday, but I'm like, yay Tuesday, yay Wednesday, and I just love that feeling. So if I can give advice, I would agree with Coach saying, do what makes you happy, and just chase your dreams. Get out of your comfort zone, and don't listen to the negativity that may be around you. Don't listen to the haters, the naysayers. Have your eye on your goal. Focus on it, and just go after it. Go after it. You're gonna make yourself feel so good. Coach, man, stay on. Don't log off. I want to holler at you after this, but now we are out. Everybody, this is Coach Shaunte Smith. Look her up one more time.
Thank you.
Facebook, the IG, hit her up, ask her questions now. Get some help if you need it. Coach, thank you for being on the show, man.
Thank you for having me, man, and shout out to what you're doing. I think this is really good. I mean, because you're not just promoting yourself, you're promoting, me and others. And I think that's very, very, very cool. Networking is also to young people, networking. Young people do it too.
Absolutely. I think it's important to make our own platform where we talk more about our sports and our businesses, and just sharing the wealth, and having a non-scarcity and an abundance mindset. So I love you. I appreciate your time. And everybody out there watching, thanks for tuning in. Keep tuning in. I'm gonna have more guests, and we're gonna keep getting some inside stories on some wonderful athletes that have built themselves up, built their businesses, and just had wonderful success stories. All right, so tune in. I'm Coach E, and I'm